Yeah,
How does it go?
it's a marvelous, fun show that I think everybody's going to like, whether you're young or old. It's very light, it's fun, it's smart, and it's a lot of fun.
And here's a fun tidbit: like you're no stranger to water, with Klaus.
Yes, that's a fish story of a different kind, on a different in a whole different world.
I love that voice.
That was yesterday. Today it is the king of Atlantis.
It's a bigger bowl.
Yeah, it's really an under the sea kind of Comic Con for me this year. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, a lot of folks out there have the misconception like, oh, Aquaman is just a guy that talks to fishes. So, how do you make Aquaman like the lead hero? That he's a badass in this installment.
Yeah, well, he does have the superpowers. He's kind of a goofball, and he often doesn't really take what the evil people are doing to him or against him so seriously, and so he can seem like a lighter weight kind of a superhero. But when he's engaged, he's actually got all this great hardware that he can use, and these awesome superpowers, and he's actually very flexible and a really interesting, fun guy.
And as a voice actor, you've done many of these gigs before. Talk a bit about tweaking your voice. What kind of tone you're looking for Aquaman?
Aquaman is very different. He first of all speaks a lot of words, and I'm not used to speaking so many words.
Okay.
So that's unusual for me. And plus, he's a lead character, and I don't usually get a role like that. I often do the animals and creature stuff, which I do in this. There's a cat and there's a dolphin in here that I voice. And so he's a straight-ahead character, but he's also comedic, and he's got a really substantial role in it. And so it's kind of a switch for me to have that. And I got to say, I'm very pleased with it and really happy with it. I think the entire ensemble does a really good job. They've got a killer group of voice actors, and the script is very fun. It's no insult as a grown-up to watch this over and over with your kids, which is what I'm sure they're going to want to do. And so it's a real treat to be on this. It's a very unique project for me.
Last question before we move on. I just want to ask, what's your opinion on the upcoming Aquaman movie? Have you seen the trailer? What do you think about Jason Momoa?
I've seen the trailer for the new one coming up. It looks really exciting, and I want to see it. It looks like a lot of fun and really inventive and an incredible world that I want to dive into, so to speak. So that's a very different Aquaman than the one that we've made for this. But we live in a world where all different flavors of a superhero can coexist, I think. And so I can't wait to see it.
What up? This is Rama Screen at Comic Con with Tinkerbell. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny you said that. My husband, I picked out this dress because I finally found a green dress to go with Jessica, my character. And my husband was like, you look like Tinkerbell. And I was like, oh no.
So adorable. So adorable.
I just wanted green. I'm sorry.
No,
This is the only one I could find.
It's amazing on you.
Thank you.
So, what do you voice in this Aquaman Rage of Atlantis movie?
I play Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern.
The Green Lantern. Yes.
Green Lantern. That was the intention. So.
Now, this isn't your first round as Jessica Cruz, right?
No, I originally did a character arc for DC Superhero Girls, which was on the YouTube series. We did another Lego film called Lego DC Superhero Girls Supervillain High, and then now we're doing this one. So it's been just a delight and such an adventure to get to do these movies. I'm so grateful. I'm having a blast.
So what is Jessica's role with Aquaman and all the guys in this installment?
Well, Jessica, this is, in terms of, the Lego movies, this is really the first time we see her as part of the Justice League.
Oh.
So it's really exciting because it's the Justice League. And Jessica, for those who know her character and more history of the comic books, deals with anxiety. So she's a really, really unique superhero and a very relatable one because she doesn't have it all together. She's not super confident about it. She's like, oh God, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up, constantly. And so I think a lot of people will relate to that, and I think a lot of people have already in reading the comic books. But you'll definitely see that in this film. She's not a confident yet member of the Justice League, but she's there with all of her heart, and she wants to do the right thing. And you see her struggle to conquer her fears throughout this, which is incredibly, endearing.
and that's refreshing because, we've seen Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, we need to see Jessica Cruz, the Green Lantern. That's refreshing, I think.
Oh,
right?
She's the first Hispanic Green Lantern, which is, representing more diversity in the media is really incredible. I'm so excited to represent, my culture and my history as well with that. But again, also representing for people who do deal with anxiety or again, just everyday people, because that's life. You know, nobody has it all together all the time. But we can be such incredibly powerful beings when we focus our willpower and are able to put those fears aside. So I love that about her.
Now, the other character, the lead character, Aquaman, a lot of people have this misunderstanding like, oh, Aquaman is just a guy who talks to fish. But, you know, with the movie coming out and now with this, so what do you think makes Aquaman a lead badass hero?
He's really fun in this film. And, you know, I mean, with the other Aquaman that's coming out, you're going to obviously some very different takes on Aquaman, the character. In this film, I mean, and Dee Bradley Baker's performance in this is hysterical. The character is fun and funny and heroic, and there's all of these little details in it for those, you know, who are, you know, have read the comic books that will kind of go back to the original comics. So I think people are going to really love it, but it's a really fun, lighthearted approach, and I love that they're focusing on him and giving him his own spotlight, because I think it was about time.
Last fun question. Of all the DC characters, male or female, that you've always wanted to voice but haven't had the chance to voice yet, who would that be?
Ooh.
Anybody in mind?
Gosh, that's a really tough question. There's so many wonderful, beautiful characters. I love the villains, actually. So I you know, because I think they're so complex and fun. I love, so doing some, maybe perhaps a villain, like, you know, oh gosh, well, I'd probably pick a female one, but I'm not that good.
You are.
But yeah, maybe more one of the villains I'd probably enjoy, like, you know, Catwoman or Poison Ivy would be a blast.
I could see you as Cheetah.
Oh, Cheetah, yeah, that would be a good one. So I like the darker where they have plans. That would be fun. So.
This is Rama at Comic Con with one of the funniest people on the planet.
Oh, shucks. Yeah. No, the funniest person couldn't be here. I came in his stead.
Okay. Jim Gaffigan then.
That's right. Wow, Jim Gaffigan, that's what you pull out?
Yeah.
Right on.
So congratulations on Aquaman, Rage of Atlantis.
Thank you guys very much. We're very proud of it.
Now, so Batman goes underwater in this one?
Batman does go underwater, and of course he has something prepared. I love how they answer all this. It's like, how are we going to breathe underwater? He's like, I have something prepared for that.
Well, he's a billionaire. He can go,
yeah, and he's really smart, too.
So what is his role in helping Aquaman in this one?
I think that Batman kind of takes a little bit more of a back seat in this one. This one definitely focuses more on Aquaman, and just the first time we're seeing Jessica Cruz, who was created by Jeff Johns. So I think that's a really cool iteration on Green Lantern. So they're kind of at the forefront more in this, and you know, Soups and I are kind of like sitting back here. Batman, there's been a running gag throughout all of this. You know, it's a darker storyline in the DC Comics that Batman has a file on everybody in the Justice League. And so this is the first time that we're really, you know, Aquaman has been in a few of these, but this is the first time he's really at the forefront. So we're learning more about Aquaman. So is Batman. And so I'm constantly having to update my files because now I'm learning that he's married, and now I'm learning that he's the half Atlantean. So it's all of these things that I'm learning about, which is great because this could be a kid or an adult's introduction to these characters. Maybe never have heard of them. And I love that we get a chance to kind of do a new spin on the lore or introduce common things about these characters in a really new and interesting way.
You know, with these Lego movies, you know, the tone is more comedic compared to Young Justice, Outsiders, which what you do too.
Yeah.
So I saw the trailer. I love that line. It's like, you knocked her silly. That was pretty cool. Batman said that. So did you contribute any of the comedy of yourself? I mean, give some ideas.
I mean, as much as I can, but really, like, Jim Krieg, those guys are excellent writers. And we've been doing this kind of long enough to know, like, again, the line where Dee Bradley Baker is like, as my Mexican dolphin friends would say, and he does the line like in dolphin. When you know that Dee's going to be saying that line, you can write to him. So there's times when, you know, Jimmy and I have known each other long enough where he can like kind of know what I'm going to do with the line, so he'll kind of write to that. So really, it's more about like just softballing up. These guys make me sound a lot funnier than I really am.
Aquaman, a lot of people misunderstand him as this guy who talks to fish. You know, but now with the movie and now with this, you know, what makes him the lead badass superhero?
Well, he has a very specialized skill, and we've no doubt that will make him a critical member of the Justice League, and that specific skill will come into hand and be handy in the very near future. Somehow, we'll need him. I'm actually, the nerd in me freaked out because when he actually starts doing, like, you'll see Like even right there, like you can see like the sonar ping thing, but they actually use like the sound effect from Super Friends. I was like, yes, that's what I want to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, last question. Sure. Of all the DC characters, male or female, that you always wanted to voice but haven't had the chance yet, who would that be?
Dude.
Anybody come to mind?
I don't know how you top I get to be Batman, dude. I mean, that's kind of like,
Cream of the crop.
Yeah, a little bit. Like I'm spoiled rotten. Who would I want to see that hasn't been done?
I want to picture you as Harley.
Really?
Yeah.
I like digging deep. Every once in a while I get to do Hawkman too, so I mean that's kind of fun. I like going real deep into lore and characters that a lot of people like. We're talking about Young Justice. Like you may not be familiar with this character. That's a little bit more fun to play. I would say like something like Darkseid, okay. But I mean, and then I think about who plays them, you know, and I'm like, I don't want that responsibility. That's like a really hard. You have to be a planet destroyer, and I don't know if I want to be that. That's a great question. Though. I'll have to think about it.
You can pull it off though.
Thank you, man.